friends, Amanda here. Welcome back to Handmade, not Hallmark, and welcome to card number 1 of my Christmas in July series. I am super excited to bring this card to you. It features a big, beautiful snowflake from Colorado Craft Company and some other great products from Simon Says Stamp. I hope you enjoy. Let's get into it. So I'm starting out with this big snowflake from Colorado Craft Company and the Merry Word die from Simon Says Stamp. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get my Merry Word done first. So I don't have any more like silver cardstock, so I'm deciding to kind of create my own cardstock. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my silver embossing powder and I'm going to coat a portion of this cardstock here. This is just some heavyweight Nina with some of this clear embossing ink, and my ink pad fell apart, so I have to fix that later. But I'm going to go ahead and ink this up with some of this clear sticky ink, and then I'm going to coat it with some Brutus Monroe sterling silver embossing powder. This is my favorite embossing powder, and I think that it is just the perfect silver color. And this is a really fun way to kind of create your own custom colors or use it to help match anything like that that you might have. And again, I didn't have any silver cardstock, so I decided to use this. This works with any kind of embossing powder. All you have to do is just heat it up like you normally would and run it through your die cutting machine, and it die cuts beautifully. I have never had any issues with the embossing powder getting funny or anything like that. It always cuts phenomenally. I'm just gonna run some more embossing powder over top of this just to make sure that I got a nice even coat. And I think it turns out wonderful. I think I may have done this in a previous card years ago. If I can find it, I'll link it, but the same method applies. But again, this is my favorite silver color that I have in my stash, and I don't know if I'll find a cardstock that matches this, but that's why I like to do that. I'm going to run that through my die cutting machine and work on the next part of my card. So I've got a piece of soft navy cardstock here from Simon, and I kind of took the big snowflake. You can see this is a very large snowflake, and it takes up the majority of the card, so this is definitely going to be a focal point. And I was testing out 2 embossing powders that I have. I have one from Brutus Monroe. It's like a sparkly white. And then I also wanted to try it with clear and see which one I liked better to do the card. You could easily do this with both. You could, switch up some things. Maybe do on the white card. You could still do the silver, I think, for the main greeting. But I preferred the clear, so I'm showing you the white, and then I just went ahead with the silver, or excuse me, the clear embossing. But this is like a sparkly white. It's got all this kind of glitter in it, and it does look really pretty. But I wasn't too keen on it next to my Merry die cut. I felt like it kind of got like, it kind of blended in a little bit. So that's why I decided to go with the clear one. So I just wanted to show you here that this is what the white looks like. I was kind of testing out this embossing powder. I had recently just got it, and I wanted to see what it would look like. And it does look really pretty. It's got a nice glitter and shine to it, and it doesn't flake off like some embossing powders do. Like the glitter may flake off, but this one, it really sticks in there. It does a good job. And this big, bold snowflake is just so pretty. I love that it's like really kind of organic and haphazard. It's not like a perfect snowflake. So that was the white one with the glitter. I'm going to carefully put that away. And then here you can see I've got the one with the just clear embossing powder. And I definitely preferred the one with the clear embossing powder. There was something about it that just really, I really liked it a lot more. Next, I'm going to go in with some distress inks and just do some inking around the edges. This really adds some depth and dimension. I do this quite a lot with cards, like especially if I'm using a colored cardstock. It just kind of adds some depth and it keeps it from being so flat. I went in with some chipped sapphire to start with, and then I'm also going to go in with a little bit of black soot just to intensify it a little bit more and really kind of make the middle shine a bit more. And then all you have to do is just kind of wipe off your embossing, and you don't have to worry about getting any ink transfer. And I'm going to also add some snowflakes because I have to add some accessory snowflakes to go with this big one. You just have to. So I'm going to be using some of my white gouache from Winsor & Newton. And I'm trying to keep the snowflakes off of my large one. I do get a few here and there, but I don't want to get it all covered up in snow in the droplets. But I did want to make sure I added a really nice amount, just to really kind of bring home the whole snowy scene that I got going on here. I'm going to get my station all cleaned up here and work on the other elements of my card while that white gouache dries. So here you can see I ran this through my die cutting machine, my Mary die. This is from CZ Designs. It's one of my favorite holiday dies that I have. I just love the simplicity of it. It does come with a shadow die, but I decided not to use it on this card today. And I'm just going to pop it out of the die here. I was trying to find my die pick. I couldn't find it anywhere, but I eventually did find it, and I'm going to go ahead and pop this out. As you can see, it die cut beautifully out of that embossing powder. You can see it's so nice, such a really pretty matte embossing. Next, I'm going to cut out some more out of white cardstock, this Mary, so I can stack it up and create a really nice dimensional die cut here. Again, if you follow me for a while, you guys know this is my preferred way to do my word dies. It just adds some dimension, and especially with the piece that I embossed, it I don't want to say that it gets a little bit flimsier, but I feel like it doesn't have like a whole lot of structure. It could just be me. I could just be talking nonsense, but I'm going to go ahead and get that adhered down here using my Barely Arts adhesive. And I apologize, the first time that I uploaded this video, so this is the second upload, I already had this all uploaded on YouTube and it was ready to go, and there was no audio. I have no idea what happened. I definitely know I created audio, but for some reason it just didn't come through, so I have to redo everything. The audio is actually completely gone from my video. Again, I don't know what happened to it, so I had to redo all of my voiceover work and then re-upload it. So I do apologize if you guys watched this video and there was no sound. I honestly had no idea that there wasn't any sound. I know that I had done it before, but you know, some things, technology, it just screws up sometimes. So I'm glad I got it fixed and we're getting this video uploaded and done. And next I wanted to create kind of like a little secondary greeting to go with this Mary die. And I brought out an oldie but a goodie. It's Tiny Words Christmas, and this is from Simon Says Stamp. I have used this so many times. It is such a nice staple. It's got some really great greetings in it, and they're nice and tiny. That's what I was going for. I wanted something really small to kind of go right nestled underneath that Mary. And I chose Peace on Earth. I felt like it was really nice. It went really well with the snowflake theme. And I'm going to stamp it down using some oxide ink in chipped sapphire. I really wanted to kind of get everything to coordinate nicely together with the blues. I'm going to stamp it down one more time to make sure that I got a really nice impression. And then I'm going to use a banner die that I have in my stash to cut out this little greeting. Kind of hit it with my heat gun because I put a couple of layers of that oxide ink and make sure it's nice and dry so I don't smudge it. And then I'll get my banner die out and get that all die cut. You could easily just run this through like a trimmer, a paper trimmer, or just use your scissors, but I can never get these tiny ones to cut out nice and straight, so I always just go right back to my dies. Super quick and easy, and I really like the kind of impression you get with a die. It kind of makes it look like it's a cut piece. So here you can see how that's going to look underneath that Mary die. I'm going to go ahead and get my base ready here. This is just a top folding A2 sized card base using some Nina 110 pound cardstock. And I'm also going to stamp a greeting on the inside. Or no, I'm sorry, not a greeting. I'm going to stamp that big snowflake on the inside again. But I'm going to be using some of the Simon Says Fog Gray ink, one of my favorite inks of all time. As you guys know, I love to add that on the inside of cards. I think it's just a nice soft color that can easily be written over, and I just had to use this snowflake again. It's just so pretty. Get that all nice and coated. And again, it's light enough that you can still write right over the top of it. There's so many things you could do with this snowflake. Go ahead and get that cleaned off. Super pretty. And all of our elements are, I do add a greeting. I knew I added one. And this is from the Peaceful Wishes stamp set from Mama Elephant. It has some amazing sentiments in it that I think go wonderfully for insides of cards. And I use them quite a bit. And I'm going back with that chipped sapphire color to add that greeting on the inside. And there we have it. Beautiful. Now that everything is all nice and dry, we can go ahead and adhere everything together. I'm going to be using my Barely Arts adhesive glue again, just to adhere that down nice and flat. The dimension is coming from the Mary die and from the depth we added on the card base itself. It does give you kind of a nice kind of, you know, dimensional depth going on. It's really not flat. It's got a lot of, I think it has some movement in it as well. Got a nice thin white frame around everything, and I think it looks so pretty. I was so pleased with this card when I finished it. It really got me in the mood to create cards, and just got, you know, my brain moving, and was really, really pleased with it. And I'm kind of moving it off to the side a little bit. I don't want to cover up too much of that snowflake. And then I'm going to adhere our secondary greeting down nice and flat as well. Super pretty. I just love how it turns out. And I did have a little bit of glue kind of ooze out from underneath that, so I'm just using my die pick to kind of pick all that out there. And then lastly, I'm going to go in with some Nuvo drops in Simply White, just to add a few more droplets here and there. And that will finish up this card for today. I really hope you enjoyed the first card of my Christmas in July series. I'm super excited to get this started and to have a lot of fun with you. If you liked the video, please consider hitting the like button, as well as the subscribe. It lets YouTube know that you're enjoying all of the content, and so you don't miss out on any more videos during my Christmas in July series. I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll catch up with you again real soon. Bye!
I've got a few videos that I think you'll enjoy. Consider hitting the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any more videos at my YouTube channel.